What up? Welcome to A2thaShow. I'm A the Mo, joined by Locogunner.
Good, bro. What's going on with you?
So where'd your name come from?
Well, this name came from gaming, playing Call of Duty. I was the one that that ran into the room with the frag crop.
Yeah, the Leroy Jenkins or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going in there with the rocket launcher and everything like that right there. But known by Graveyard by T Huck. So if you heard Huck or T Huck, that is I.
Okay, so that's cool. Good to know. See, I've always known. So people don't know. Locogunner, I know through Graveyard. Graveyard's been like, check out this channel. You should do this, and I through that of somewhat, but I haven't really talked to you too much. But I always was like, we'll have you call in eventually. Well, hell yeah. Well, how did you get? So since I mentioned that, you do a lot of Twitch streaming. I see you play Rocket League. You mentioned Call of Duty. So where can people find you and all that? Make sure to get all that out there.
Well, I'm Locogunner on every platform right now. So I can be found on every platform. If you're at Locogunner, you'll see me.
Hell yeah. And what's your game of choice these days?
It's still Rocket League has been good with my clips, but I still Call of Duty, Apex, just random games. Right. I'm a retro gamer. I still got a original NES, so sometimes you might see me playing Super Mario Brothers.
So
double
I've
dribble.
always heard Nintendo's kind of some assholes about their shit. Is that not really a thing? Like people claim if like you stream Nintendo shit, they'll like try to get it pulled down and things like that.
Well, I haven't ran into it myself.
Hell yeah. Maybe it's more new games, as opposed to retro stuff.
Right.
Because now I'm thinking about it, I see a lot of Pokemon shit. They're always trying to get my algorithm. But man, we'll definitely touch on video games again. But we'll try to touch on random shit that's happening. December, I've decided we're going to do a bunch of call-ins. So I've just hit everyone up of like, hey, you want to call in? Let's fucking do it. It's the season for giving, if you will. I notice you're in the spirits with the holiday shirt. I mean, I guess it's only in the spirits. It's the Grinch flipping someone off, which is my vibes for Christmas. But then also to buy it, you have to kind of be in the spirit,
Well, actually, I made it.
Oh, hell yeah. That's badass. I always want to make shirts. I have like cool ideas, but I think I don't know what you need, like a screen printing thing or whatever if you're doing it at home. But
well, yeah, I did this embroidery right here.
Oh, nice.
But if you want to do something, trust me, I got exactly what you need. You can make it happen.
Hell yeah. Well, I have a lot of ideas. That's what really happens. I mention on here all the time, like, I just really want to make a video game. But then I think about like 7 years ago, I decided I want to make beats. And then I like basically not ruin my life, but change my whole life to where like, that was like the main part of my life was making beats. Like every night I would like get to it. And it's like, do I want to take on another hobby or whatever that's like, here's going to take up another huge fraction of your time. So it's like, I do want to get into it, but also I'm like, God damn it, I can't. When would I do it? I mean, I would say we're doing this one pretty late. And I think that is one thing I don't take advantage of enough. I just need to say, fuck sleep. And I should just stay up later to do things.
What is sleep? You know what I'm saying? Sheesh.
But I will admit that is probably the place I'm not like as much of a hustler as maybe at one time I was. Like about 10 o'clock hits and I'm like, I'm going to bed. You know what I mean? Like, and there was a time I'm like, we're staying up all night, but I smoke too much and then I'll be fucking tired. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to sleep. I don't. And then the thing is, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., turn on the video game, start getting my day going. But I've just gotten to where like, I'll just fucking crash out too early.
Damn. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You all right.
I'm going to work on it. I'm going to try to drink more, smoke less. And that'll shift my schedule, I feel like, just a little bit. And then I'll try to quickly touch my political things here. Trump has this take where he's going to undo every Biden autopen. And they keep saying this like it's a fucking known phrase or like the Biden autopen. And so I was like, let me look into this and actually what the fuck anyone's talking about. To my understanding, it was when Biden was in office, he had this a program, software, if you will, that signed all this shit for him. So like he didn't technically sign it, but it was like his signature done by the autopen. And then Trump is now being like, well, that don't fucking count. And we're, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with that. I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm like, if he didn't sign it, that does kind of make sense that you would be like, well, that don't count if you didn't actually sign it. And then the argument would be, well, his administration did, and that's really who you're voting for. And then others were like, well, you're voting for a president. And then you'll get in this sort of semantic argument. But my gut does say, yeah, if he didn't really sign that shit, we don't even know if he was alive. Biden was checked out. So
that what's crazy about that is like when you do like the document sign,
right?
It counts as your signature.
It does. That is true. That is true.
You can get approved for loans and stuff with DocuSigns. I mean, so it's kind of crazy. You can say it though.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. For us normal folk doing normal folk things, that isn't an issue. But when they're like, well, this is the big person business up in the office. I get where they're like, this should be different, but maybe it shouldn't.
Right. So I mean, if they actually sign it on paper, and that means you can't sign on the iPad or something, that's kind of which one.
Well, I think the argument here would be like Biden just may not have been aware of what he was signing.
So he thinks somebody else was doing it.
Right. So they would just be like, it's like when you have that old person, you grab their hand to sign the check for you. And you're like, technically they signed it. And you're like, well, I think you just stole from that old lady is what happened. So similar to that.
To me, man, it's kind of tricky, man.
That's what we're here for, the good stuff. And then the best Trump news I've heard, actually, and there's not a lot to me, is he's going to be responsible for Rush Hour 4 being made. He is a huge fan of the Rush Hour series, and I guess the director got Me Too'd and he's been out of the business, but Trump's like, God damn it, Paramount, if we don't get a Rush Hour 4, and so they are working on bringing back Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker and the director, and they're going to try to make a Rush Hour 4. That is the new news, and it's all he's responsible, which is just a crazy news story. I don't know. I really liked Rush Hour 1 and 2 when I was young. I never saw the third one. I'm going to be honest, I probably don't have much of an interest in the fourth. But those first two movies were great. I loved them.
Yeah, that's going to be, well, if I had to guess, that was going to be kind of leaning towards the Lethal Weapon series of movies. Because they help Jackie Chan a little bit age, man.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's from China, I believe. I don't quite remember that country.
I just saw him in that what it is, the Karate Kid Legends. No, he aged a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely old as shit. You mentioned Lethal Weapon though. I just saw where Lethal Weapon 5 got greenlit. I don't believe it because Danny Glover apparently can't even stand for like 3 minutes solid. But there was a picture of them two together, and people are claiming they're trying to work on it. And I'm like, just let it die. I don't.
Lethal Weapon 5. Wow.
So, hopefully,
that's my comment. Wow.
Anything could be AI these days. That's the other thing. Every time I tell my wife a news story, I'm like, but that could all be AI and it could have tricked me,
And that is, now that's something that do scare me though, is AI. AI is it's great, but it's scary at some point.
Well, it's like one of those things where it's good and bad, of course, like anything else. And of course, there's a million reasons I can get in the economics and all that shit. But just in the fact that you used to be to go on the internet and you'd be like, I think, look at this crazy thing. But now you can't even believe anything. Like you just can't. You're like, it could all be fake. And used to be some could be fake because someone might like go out of their way to Photoshop something. But now you're like, this is better than Photoshop. And who would have back in the day, like, who would take the time to do this? But now you're like, anyone, because it's fucking AI, and they just wrote a fucking sentence and see what would happen. And then
it's amazing. I can say that. I can say that.
Yeah, I need to use it more. I need to get more into it. I work somewhat in the tech industry, and I went to this work trip, and they were talking about all the different shit for AI, and I was like, I want to be into it. I just don't. I also think it's going to destroy the world. And I don't want to be like a fucking enthusiast of the thing that's going to destroy the world. That doesn't seem like a good.
Damn it. A2thaMo was with this. He was with it.
Yeah. If it turns out AI is the mark of the beast, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I was fucking feeding the beast food because, you know.
That's a mouthful. Wow.
Yeah, who knows? And I don't necessarily know if I believe in the mark of the beast, you know, or whatever, but it is an interesting thing. I had this science teacher in 8th grade, and he would just go on these rants where you go, the Cyclops in Revelations is the television. Y'all are watching the Cyclops. And we'd be like, what the fuck? But also, I was like, I love where he's going with this. Like, it's very fun.
This is entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like an unhinged Southern basketball coach teaching earth science. Not at all talking about earth science, but instead his biblical thoughts.
Just get his point across. Ain't it wrong with that? You know?
Yeah, that's cool. He wore sweatpants, real tight sweatpants. What I remember about that fella. His name was Coach Brewster, something like that, which I found interesting because his hair looked like rooster hair. And I was like, rooster's in your name. Do you go out of your way to make your hair look like it was? It's crazy. All right, here's something you may have seen. And again, could have been AI photos, but I don't think it was Diddy having fun in prison. Diddy apparently has a gay boyfriend in prison. There's pictures of it, and they're claiming he's living his best life. And then I mentioned a week or two ago that there was word that he was having gay orgies ever not in the prison, and the guards cannot keep the Diddy block under control. These could all be AI stories, but they look real when I see them. And there is something fun about that. I like this idea that Diddy just brings the party wherever he goes. He's always been the party guy. And it don't matter where you put him, he ain't ever going to stop. That's how I think about Diddy.
Oh, you just pulled a can't stop, won't stop. Oh, my goodness.
Take that. It is crazy he had to take that as his ad lib. Do you think that was him like letting everyone know for years? Like, there's something there.
Oh,
and there's of course all those old Biggie lines where he's fucking trannies, which more power to you if that's your into. But it is like in hindsight, you're like, oh, they were saying some crazy shit back in the 90s New York rap. Actually,
and a lot of it went over our heads. I'm not going to lie to you.
I can honestly say I've never been a New York rap fan. You know, I like all the other areas and coast over New York stuff. And I used to get a lot of shit when I first started rapping. And, you know, people would be from the East Coast. They'd be like, this is where it started. I'm like, but it's not as good. You know, I would be like very much stand up for the West Coast and the South and Houston and different things. So I kind of feel like this has looked bad on them. You know, again, I don't know. Should it? Maybe not. You know, I'm not trying to say it's bad that the rappers are gay. And I've never had a problem with gay stuff. My problem is when people lie. If you're gay, just be gay. And I think that's what most people are like. Well, you lied and you claimed you were this other thing. And then we don't like the disingenuousness of it, if you will. And I feel like they fucked over Foxworth Bentley or whatever his name was. Farnsworth, not Foxworth. Farnsworth. If it was Foxworth, it was like a redneck version. Foxworth.
Yeah. But damn. And I think he can't really say nothing. You know what I mean? He signed paperwork, I think, when I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I think for a lifetime of umbrellas, he had to shut his mouth or whatever. All right, let's play a song here. All right. We're gonna play a song from Sir Nasty. And it is off of his new album, Dealing With My Problems. So that is out on Bandcamp 100%. It may be coming back to the streamers. I don't know. No one's told me one way or the other. But you can go purchase it. Bandcamp.com/Sir Nasty, or however they do their URLs. To be honest, I'm not familiar at the exact moment. It might be sirnasty.bandcamp.com. But however they do it, y'all got it. Anyway, his new album, I really like it. Not mainly, but I do have a lot of beats on there, and maybe that is why I like it so much. But the song we're going off here is a real one. It's called Heartbroken, the 13th track on the album, and let's give it a listen.
Everybody gotta be held accountable for their bullshit. You feel me? Let me talk to these bitches. I fuck with rich bitches. How come everything that I do looks suspicious? You thinking about that nigga? Don't tell me that you're not. It was cool in the beginning, but now everything hot. Grab my keys, I'm out, shit. I ain't finna play with you. You can call the phone, but I ain't got nothing to say to you. What you want from me? Get your shit together for the next dude. Yeah, work on yourself, that's your best move. Yeah, I hate dating and I hate waiting. Yeah, I love my haters and I hate Satan. Yeah, so do what you choose to do. Yeah, you're beautiful, but your attitude unexcusable. Yeah, she said I broke her heart, but I done seen her break niggas' hearts. Yeah. And I put that on my kids. She tried to steal my heart from the start, and she did. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She said I broke her heart, whoa, whoa. But I done seen her break niggas' hearts, yeah. And I put that on my kids. She tried to steal my heart from the start, and she did. Whoa. She on the phone with some nigga while she blowing me. She say she not a hoe, but that ain't what she showing me. I cut the bitch off cause she be showing out. I'm at the crib watching the game, she talking about going out. After the game, I'm at the studio. I'm working. I can't be your man, but I can get your booty though. Nasty. I'ma keep it real. You want to drink and party, bitch, I want to smoke and chill. And that's for real. She told me I was boring. She text me what you doing, bitch, it's 4 in the morning. I'm asleep, bitch. Hard to tell her no, cause she got deep shit. I've been rapping all night, she texting about some eat shit. She said I broke her heart, but I done seen her break niggas' hearts, yeah. And I put that on my kids. She tried to steal my heart from the start, and she did. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She said I broke her heart, whoa, whoa. But I done seen her break niggas' hearts, yeah. And I put that on my kids. She tried to steal my heart from the start, and she did. Whoa. Look, I got this cool bitch. She on some cool shit. Remind me of this cool bitch I went to school with. Shit. Beauty, body, and brains. Window seat and gave me head on the plane. Nasty. And that head real. Biker shorts on, no panties. She on the treadmill. When it come to bread, she good. She got on red heels. When it comes to bread, she good. She got on red heels. Y'all don't hear me though. Shit, money don't move her. She know that I'm gutter, really came from the sewer. Pussy connoisseur said she love how I do her. She not them other bitches, so that ain't how I do her. You feel me? She said I broke her heart, but I done seen her break niggas' hearts, yeah. And I put that on my kids. She tried to steal my heart from the start, and she did. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She said I broke her heart, whoa, whoa. But I done seen her break niggas' hearts, yeah. And I put that on my kids. She tried to steal my heart from the start, and she did. Whoa.
Sir Nasty with Heartbroken. And Locogunner raises his glass there. I really like the beat, of course. I made it, but the thing I like the snaps. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Like I don't remember necessarily in my process where I was like, we should add fucking snap, 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 snap. But that's how it worked, and I think it worked out pretty good. And now I need to sample me saying snaps, but anyway.
Definitely.
But yeah, he also going into some real shit. You know, I think the one we played last week, I said as well, is like, Sir Nasty getting too real. You know, if it's about real life, I feel like it puts people in a position where you're like, shut up, you're talking about me or whatever. But maybe that's how it's supposed to go.
I've been telling them these last couple of albums, bro. I can hear him having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I've been around him since he was with the cassettes. You know what I mean? So just to see the growth over the time span and like the consistency, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, like this, I think we was at it some years ago, bro. We was at the club and I got dragged on the pool table, like real bad. But I'm known to shoot pool pretty good. This dude freestyle about me getting my ass kicked in pool for the whole 30-minute ride home, bro. So yeah, it's like the talent has always been there.
Right. There's one thing I definitely miss about, like, I remember when I first got into rapping, I freestyled all the time. Like every any time possible, I was freestyling. But then I would say in the last however many years, I just don't freestyle anymore. And I'm like, God, I'm not a real rapper because I don't freestyle any, you know, and you get out of the habit. But I really should. You know, I mean, I freestyle when I'm coming up with song. Like, that's basically how I write, is I just freestyle a line and write it down or whatever. But
and see, I don't really think that you know dictates whether you're a rapper or not, or you're an artist, like just like you mean.
I think it's because when I first started, you mentioned a pool table, and it reminds me of this bar. So there was this bar called Legends in this college town I'm in, and then like Wednesday night was college night, so we'd all go there. It's the first time I ever freestyled really in front of people. Someone challenged me, and I rapped for like 10 to 15 minutes straight. And when I got done, there was like a whole circle, like all the people in the bar were around me, and I was like, oh my God, because you know I just was rapping or whatever. And then that's how I got started going to parties, and then like some of the black dudes on the football team would know I rap. They'd like come get in the cypher, and then other people wouldn't, and then their whole thing would be like, let's watch you shock these people. It was like a whole shock value thing. And it was really fun. I mean, I loved it. But then when I started writing after a few years, it's like I just lost the ability to do it, you know. But that was kind of how I started. So I think because of that, I feel like I need to get back to it. And I remember there was this white meth ass looking rapper at the bar one night, and I was like challenging him to a battle, and his management was like, we don't battle for free. And I was like, I will destroy this meth head motherfucker. Like, you know, I was real cocky and shit. And I'm not like that now. I think now, like, I'm always wanting to collab on songs and be like, what's the best way us as artists can make this? But some people are still in that competitive rap mode, and I don't necessarily have that in me anymore. I'm more of an artist than a competitor, I guess.
Got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
But yeah, it's all fun.
That's growth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is. And also, I'm just lazy. That's what I tell myself. I'm just real hard on myself. So anyway, also speaking of white rappers, I find Jelly Roll just to be insufferable. I don't understand why people fucking love Jelly Roll so much. But they do. They just love him, especially around here. And he just seems so fake, I guess is my take on him. But maybe I'm wrong. But all right, so some video games. The new Call of Duty, from what I've seen, looks horrible. But I think everything I've seen that looks bad is from the campaign. And so if you're just playing multiplayer, I'm sure no one gives it. But it's like weird big ass knives, and like you're fighting giants, and it just doesn't look like a Call of Duty to me. But I haven't played Call of Duty in 15 years. So like, what the fuck do I know?
I've been watching people, like I guess I'm a big Call of Duty head, but I've never been like on it heavy as soon as the game came out. I'll always be like a couple months down the line after people stop camo grinding, and I actually play then. But I did lock into Warzone, so I play that more than anything.
Dude, I have a little cousin who is obsessed with Warzone and Call of Duty in general. And and I think he just started doing videos for video games. I told him he should.
Right.
I don't know if he listened to me, but he did. But apparently he's like really, really good. At least that's the way he acts. And so maybe I should link y'all up to fucking play Call of Duty. He's always like, I need someone on my level. I'm so many levels ahead of it. Like he's just on Facebook ranting to nobody. And I'm always like, bro, this ain't the place to find people. But anyway,
no, I
know people love it.
Yeah, I like playing the game, but I'm not the one dropping like awesome numbers consistently. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I still like to do my stupid shit and shoot with a rocket launcher.
To me, my peak Call of Duty playing would have been, I mean, I don't remember the exact year. I remember War of Worlds, which is a long time ago on PS3. I remember playing that one, and then maybe another one after that. And me and Powwow would love it. And I'd be in my room, he'd be in the living room. So we're like screaming at each other from room to room, but we're on the same team. Or we might put 2 TVs in the living room, get crazy. And that was very fun playing, squads and shit like that. And I remember especially like my now wife, but then girlfriend, she'd always be like, can we pause it? We're like, we can't pause an online game. You're like fucking screaming at the girlfriend's like, you don't fucking get it. And you're like way too into it. And then whenever Battlefield 3 came out, I mean, I'll remember this forever. Battlefield 3 came out a week before Modern Warfare 3 or whatever the Call of Duty was that year. And I went to a friend's house, saw Battlefield, was like, I'm buying that immediately. And then I was addicted to Battlefield 3. And I was like, fuck Call of Duty forever. I love Battlefield. Now, I don't care. Battlefield 6 just came out. I could care less. I tried it and was like, I don't have, I guess it's the same with the rap thing. I don't have that sort of competitive thing with people online. I don't have to prove myself there. But if I had friends that played it, I understand it. Like, I didn't like Fortnite, but whenever a group of my friends were playing it and I played it, I was like, this is actually a good time, you know? So
right.
that could, or if Rocket, I actually really like Rocket League even solo, but when you're playing with like friends, you're like, I'm passing it to you as opposed to just fucking randomly driving around with strangers. It is a lot more fun, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah. And see, I got into Call of Duty, matter of fact, Red Hat MW3. That was like the first thing I got locked into, and been playing it ever since. But yeah,
I remember the Powwow kept playing them. I remember because I would try to play on his, and it was maybe Black Ops 2 or 3, one of the earlier Black Ops games, and the maps were so small. And like you would start and like you would literally run into someone in less than 3 seconds every time. And I was like, this is too, it's like it got to a weird ADHD level of like it was just too fast paced where I was like, well, hold on. I want to like figure out the fuck's going on before I run into somebody.
Right. Yeah, I can't say they have mastered chaos.
Right. I mean, and that is what makes it fun. I get it.
Yeah,
totally
they've mastered the chaos.
See,
what was your first gaming system?
Regular Nintendo for me. So my uncle Raymond, when he went off to the Marines, he left me his regular Nintendo, but I had an aunt who was like 16 or 17, so we kind of shared it. And I want to say the first game they had that I remember playing was Mario 1/Duck Hunt. You know, it was like on the same cartridge. And I played the fuck out of that. And then my uncle had Ninja Gaiden 1 and 3, but not 2. And I would play those, but they're like some of the hardest games of all time. And I'm like, I probably made it to level 2, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, where the fuck was I going to get on that game? But I played Mario 3 like crazy. I mean, I would just play Mario 3 almost every day, I felt like. I remember my dad got me Mario 2 at a flea market, like years after, you know, I was so excited because I never even knew Mario 2 was a thing, you know. But I loved my regular Nintendo. It was a great system. And then I basically had nothing but bad luck on video game systems my whole life, as far as like my mom's cheap. I love my mom, but she's just a cheap, like she's not going to waste money on some shit. And so when it was between a Super Nintendo or a Genesis, the Genesis was $99. So that's what she bought me. Did I get the one with Sonic? No, I got the one with some dumb fucking fighting game. And, you know, it wasn't even that good. And then I think like every game I had was not good. Like I can go back through, like look at the Sega. And I'm like, I just had shitty games with the Sega, but I still played it. And then my cousin had a Super Nintendo. I'd go to his house and be like, God, I wish I had Super Mario World. This looks so good. And then whenever the next ones came out and it was between PS1 and N64, my mom, I think, tried to do me a solid and get me the N64 since I missed out on the Nintendo last time. But guess what sucked? The N64. The PlayStation was way better as far as the games I liked. And then I got stuck with a shitty N64 that basically just had wrestling games. Great wrestling games, but that was about all it had.
But
my same cousin, he got a PlayStation, and so I'd go to his house, play the Final Fantasies and all that stuff, so I'd still see it. And eventually I did get a PS1. And then, eventually it's all, I bought everything. But also I have like so many cousins. It was like you had to sell your cousins your old systems and shit like that would always happen. So you like couldn't even hold on to them. But, you know, I've definitely collected them now. Like I have a PS2 loaded up with, you know, I've showed off however many episodes ago with all these retro games. I have this little handheld thing. I wish I had it around me, but I don't. This little Anbernic. It looks like a Game Boy, but I have like every game you could want from like PS1 and down on it, and you could play this little Game Boy looking thing, and it is very nice.
That's what's up.
I would like to get one for my nephews, but they're from like a family that they don't even really watch TV. And I'm like, I think I'll get in trouble if I try to load up these kids with the coolest video games from the 90s.
But matter of fact, I got my nickname T-Hook from playing wrestling on 64.
Hell yeah. The thing that sticks out to me the most about that, because this was the old internet days, my favorite at the time was WCW versus NWO. And then I would go online and they would have like, here's how you make the Heartbreak Kid. And it would have like, do all these pre-settings.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'd be like, and here's how you make Bret Hart. It's here all the priests. And I would just remake the WWF roster on WCW just so my friends came over and be like, check that out. And they'd be like, yeah, I don't. Okay. And you're like, all right. You know, it's just one of those moments you realize you might have ADHD or something. And no one else does.
Man, yeah, that was, yeah.
I would say by the PS4, that was actually when I finally was like, I was so up to date on video games, and I have been ever since. That like being on the cutting edge, if you will, isn't like I'll play like new releases if I want to and shit like that. And like I get a console day one because I'm like, oh, I gotta, you know, I'm really into this shit. But it is a totally different experience, and I do miss like being a few years behind. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I could find all kinds of hidden gems. You know, I basically know all the games that I want. You know, I have made a rule with myself the last couple of years where I almost never buy a full price video game. I do wait until it is on sale for some, you know, like a whatever percentage. Now, sometimes I cheat and I wait, even if it's like 5% off. I'm like, it's technically a sale. And then I'll go ahead and get it. But I've been trying really hard to do that, especially because I got my wife into gaming. And then that's like, I buy her more games than I buy myself because she still has that, like, it's all new to her, you know, and there's some magic to it still. Like, there's a wowness factor that I don't think. It's hard for some when you've been playing video games for, you know, over 30 years. I guess I'm sitting at 33 years, something like that. I've just seen it all. You know, like anytime there's a game she gets stuck, I'm like, yeah, this is just the mechanic from this thing. And it's, you know, so it is kind of like it's lost the magic a little bit, but it's still fun. I love it. And when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's going to be the greatest thing ever or the biggest disappointment on earth. And I can't wait to see what happens there.
Yeah,
it's gotta be one or the other. And I don't think there is a medium in that rejection.
Especially after this like the yeah.
They're like, let's just delay it a little more and delay it a little more. And but there's an old phrase, I don't want to say like Miyamoto from Nintendo said it back in there, someone that, you know, no game has ever been worse because it was delayed. You know, like they've never delayed a game and then it comes out and it's worse. Like it's always a good thing. And you can only launch a game once. And so they're making the bet that like, listen, this will give us enough time to polish it just enough. But I would argue it won't affect it. It'll sell the same regardless. But I guess if it's buggy, maybe people don't invest in the online or something. But I'm not going to play it online anyway. Probably not. I tried on GTA 5 and I tried the first week and I didn't get any of the trophies. And that made me mad. And then every time you get on, people are just trying to shoot you all the time. And I was like, what? Why is this happening? I have to just get on here and defend myself all the time. I'm trying to go rob banks or whatever. So
yeah.
I just bought Spider-Man 2 on PS5 on Black Friday. I'm gonna force myself to replay the first one on PS5. And I don't know. I say force myself because I know a lot of people love those games. Right. They are just. It was really easy. That was my take when I first played it. So I know it's not like a horrible complaint, but it was just kind of like you fought the things and you swung around, and a lot of people really like it. I've heard the second one's better. But I'm going to try to get way into Spider-Man. I already know my Christmas gift for my wife, because I told her to buy me one, is a PlayStation Portal, which is, and they added this new cloud streaming thing. So I'm trying to just really go all in on this PlayStation stuff.
Okay. So,
shit,
that was up. And games like that, I've always said and watched them before I played them.
Right.
Like I'd be the one to like to help strategize and watch somebody else play it versus me playing it.
Yeah, I do think that's something I miss about. Maybe it's just being young. Maybe kids today still do this, but like I liked when friends just came over and I was playing a game, or vice versa. I go to a friend's house and they're just playing a game. I'm like, no, man, keep playing the game. Right. But like now when Skinny comes over, I'll like turn off a game and he'll even say like, I won't mind watching that, you know, because like he's not like real good at games, but he would watch me play like Cyber. But I'm like, nah, man, you're not over here to fucking watch me play goddamn games. But it's just, you know, you get older and you feel like that is weird. And I'm always trying to fuck with music, I guess. But there was something, especially like going like to a cousin's house when I was a kid, and I'd be like, it was Let's Plays, basically. We didn't call them that, but it's like, I'm going to watch you beat this game that I'm not good at. And then maybe someday I will beat this game.
Sure.
And then another one I mentioned a couple weeks ago is Split Fiction, that me and my wife are going to play together. It's a co-op game. The previous game called It Takes Two was very good. And
me and my wife played that. It took us a while to beat it, but we did enjoy it though. But Takes Two, bro. It tests your relationship. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right. I know images with Brad. It didn't hurt ours too bad because at that time my wife was pretty new to gaming, and I was so good at it that she would get frustrated at it, but she wasn't getting mad at me. You know, I'm like, listen, you have to hold this there. That's how it worked. You know, I'd be like that. She'd be like, okay, all right. But it's like she was mad, but she would try not to take it out on me. But now I do think with this new one Split Fit, because she's beat a few games since then, you know, she might be feeling herself a little more. This one's also like based on authors, and she's like really into reading and writing and stuff. So I think she's going to really like the story a lot more. But she wanted to wait and save it for Christmas break. She gets 2 weeks off. And so that's our big Christmas break plans.
Okay. Y'all gonna stream it?
Probably not. The real reason I don't stream stuff, and I mentioned this on here before, but on my, I think I have like something of a dud of a computer, but when I am uploading rather like a video podcast to the internet, or if I'm streaming and therefore I'm uploading all this data, my speakers glitch out. Okay, now y'all can't hear it. Like if someone was watching the stream, I think the audio is fine for them, but for some reason it like cuts my audio and like I don't know. There's like a weird static noise and the audio cuts out. So when I was trying to stream me making beats, that kind of really fucked me up because I was like, I can't even hear what I'm doing correctly. But I need to look into it. You know, I'm sure it's something I'm just not, I'm overlooking, but because I am very tech savvy and I've tried a few things, but it might just be these fucking too expensive speakers that maybe it's just an overkill. Gotcha. But not a big deal, of course. But I should try to stream. I have streamed a little bit when I was playing NCAA football, but then every time I streamed, I would not play well. And then I would turn off the stream and I would like kick ass. I'm like, what the fuck? And I guess it's just the pressure, you know, or whatever. So maybe it's good.
Yeah, I understand that. I definitely understand that.
All right, let's play a song here.
All right.
We got a song from, I don't remember, my notes are down. I'll pull them up here. I'm going to guess it. Yeah, it's your boy H2. Now, I'm not sure how familiar you are with It's Your Boy H2, but he has a new album out called Puppetry. And of course, it's spelled all fucking crazy, but I'm sure we'll pop it up somewhere when y'all can see it. And the name of the song on the player is called Ferrari Flow, also made on one of my beats. I don't know if every beat on his album is, but most of them are made by rather me, Adamo Makes Beats, or Bradster X, who goes by the name of Big Cock Beats, just so y'all know. He also produced some on here, so y'all go check out the Puppetry by It's Your Boy H2. And yeah, we'll give a listen to Ferrari Flow.
Yeah. It's your boy H2, man. You already know. Crazy H flow right here. It's the adopted bushwhacker and I'm out on a safari. That's right. You can get it, bitch, cause everything I say is jarring. No matter the jargon, you got the speed of an Atari. My drive is harder than when I'm alone with your thought, or harder than me alone with my own thoughts, lubing a bottle of smart water. Cause I can make some dumb decisions if I don't get a grip and just come to fruition. Unless you want a taste, then it's full of nutrition. I'm doing God's work, single-handedly ruin religion with diplomatic precision. Just listening to me jacket with an acrobatic rhythm of tantric visions of satanic women. Give my hands a tan of pigment, I'm mad efficient, or maybe it's efficiently mad. You should ask the clinic what it has on my prescription that has me going the distance. Cause I know that I'm so distant. As long as I have my wrist, I can't resist it. I have to risk it and flip my tongue till I twist it. This is syllabus and shit that you can't teach to these peeps. You just gotta live it. Hey, you just gotta live it. Let's go. You just gotta live it. To just get livid and rip it, leaving them something so vivid. You feel the sink with a sinking feeling, so fuck all the dishes. Just let them pile up and shatter, cause when you see shit just splatter, it makes you feel like you matter, cause you had a chance to take chances. So if you advance, then you're flattered. But then again, everything that gets broken except the record is tragic. So to be combative is as bad as you having to master losing. So when you win, it's a feeling you've never had, like you lifted a boulder. Let this fire just smolder over. All I want is comfort. I sell my soul for a sofa. I can just sit on and write till I got enough commas to put my foes in a coma. Looking like hot shit in a box. Yeah, them stofers is over. Can you smell the aroma? Of course it's an these donuts till I force them off the road and make them all an organ donor. H.
It's your boy H2 with Ferrari flow. He's going fast. That's what he's doing in the Ferrari. If I have to break that one down, I think it's fun. The beat fun with my the bongo, little hand drumming in there, and I wouldn't typically listen to the fast rap. You know, that's not typically my thing, but it is technically good, and I couldn't do it. You know, so there's a part of that where I'm like, you have to. It's like the Eminem thing. You got to tip the hat. Now, I don't want to compare H2 too much to Eminem because we were just talking this week, and he has all kinds of theories on Eminem that if when H2 calls in, we'll have to get a refresher on from everybody because it's. Do you have any thoughts on the song?
Oh, I thought it was pretty dope, man. When you sent it to me, I checked it out. I checked everything out. Yeah, I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah, I do think one thing that Sir Nasty and H2 remind me of each other for is that they are very consistent as far as like their style. Like when you hear H2, you know it's H2. When you hear Sir Nasty, you know it's Sir Nasty. Like, I think there is something about that is classic and like a classic rapper way of like they're always doing. Oh no, you just know it's them. You know, like
and I could tell that they ain't trying to be like nobody else. You know, and they just being who they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
I could dig that. I respect that.
Which I think I struggle. I don't know if it's a struggle. It's me and the way I do it. I have a lot of pressure of like I got to sound different on this song because the beat sounds different, and then I like make I kind of do a different voice or flow or whatever. And I like it, but there's another part of me is like, yeah, but it's not necessarily always me. You know, I am kind of changing it up, but I do find that fun. So maybe the changing it up is still me.
I mean, everything I've heard, bro, I like it. I mean, cause you got different styles, you got different flows, and you can feel, you know, man, the different meanings in behind the song. Like when you change it up a little bit, you know, you got different meanings. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I can't tell. Listen to you now talk. Yeah, you very hard on yourself. You. I
think it's good that way. Yeah. I don't really like cocky people like in life, and so I think I just try not to be like that. And then it's went too far where I'm like just too self-deprecating all the time. But I don't know. I like being that way. I think it's more fun. It's kind of like I told every woman ever, like, I have a small penis. And then so whenever it's just like average, they're like, hey, well, come on now. But, you know, you set the expectation low and then you can still shock them or whatever, you know. So I kind of use that same strategy on everything in life, if you will.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah. We talked about that bar earlier. I used to freestyle at. One of my favorite memories is I was in this fraternity. And it was when I was pledging, and I had this big brother who's like kind of just an older guy that's like they assign to you basically. But we were like hanging out in the bar, and I overheard another fraternity brother brag to some woman he had a big dick. And so the girl I'm talking to, I was like, not me. And she was like, that's fine. I like that. And it like worked. And she like came back to my apartment. And that was kind of probably like the moment I was like, oh, I can use like humor in a way, you know, where like that's more effective than some of these other guys sort of strategy. Yeah. So those are the lessons you learn sometimes when you're young. Oh, yeah. Let's see what else. I have random ass shit on this list. Let's see what anything that you might be interested in. I'll try to scan these over here. Do you remember when the rainbow became exclusively gay? I don't personally. I'm just saying this to say too that I used to have this Atlanta Braves hat that had like rainbow plaid, and no one ever, when I wore that hat in 2005, was like, oh, that's a gay pride hat. It was like mainly like that hat's badass. And I also had a Denver Nuggets hat that had like a 1970s retro logo in which the sky in the skyline was rainbow, and not one person or me then was ever like, oh, and that's a gay hat. every person, especially black people, were like, that's the sickest fucking throwback hat I've ever seen. And I'm like, it is awesome, isn't it? You know, so I don't, you know, this is a thing a lot of more religious people around here are like, we're taking back the rainbow. And I'm like, I guess it really has become like like it maybe used to have been for like 5-year-old girls, like that. It was like Lisa Frank, if you will, you know, that sort of stuff. But it is kind of, if you saw a rainbow flag on something currently, you would immediately be like, oh, that must be like a gay pride thing.
Yeah, but I can't say this. I think it still need to be able to be just a rainbow. You know what I mean? Because it can be both. You know what I mean? That don't mean that all rainbows that has this meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you won't. I mean, and this sounds fun. I'll say you wouldn't put your son in a rainbow shirt and be like, it's cool. It still means both. You would be like, oh, everyone's gonna think, hey, now maybe you shouldn't. That shouldn't be a bad thing. I understand this isn't a PC way of talking about it, but it would. That is what it would imply.
But you're right though. You're absolutely right. Because but I was just saying, I would wish it would be able to. This should just be a rainbow.
And when did the Confederate flag become racist? No, this has been like one of my biggest. I guess allyship things, but I mean, you're from an area where you may have a different opinion, but I really could not understand people in my town that had like Confederate flags over all their shit. And I'd be like, it just seems racist. And it just in my heart, right? It just felt racist. And so, I'm like, it's just crazy. And then as I got older, I kind of took on this whole like, oh, what? You're fucking flying the flag of the losers? What kind of fucking shit is that? But now as I'm even older and people be like, it's not that, it's about tradition. And it's still hard for me to be like, but isn't that tradition, the slavery? You know, I don't know. So it's hard for me as someone that's not from that area to get it. But anyways, we're talking about flags here.
I mean, we have the same mindset. To me personally, bro, it just showed me that division has always been a thing, you know what I'm saying, from day one. You're going to have people that okay with it and the people that don't like it. And they feel some type of other way about it. And they're not going to never see eye to eye.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, and I do think some of it's just, I was going to say, it's just innate. But then again, I guess I'm starting to already argue with myself. It's probably parents. One thing that really stuck out to me as a kid, not to toot my own non-racist horn, but I remember sitting on the front porch of one of my friend's house in 3rd grade. I know it's 3rd grade because me and him became friends in 3rd grade. And there was like a Mexican girl in my class or whatever I probably thought was cute. And I'm talking about like how I would totally date this Mexican girl. And he was like, I can only date whites. And I'm like, what? And he'll be like, my dad says I can only date whites. And you're like, that's crazy. Like, it was crazy. Like, it blew my mind, right? But like that, his honestly growing up was probably more normal where I was at than mine. Because my mom was from California and she just, I don't know, probably had a little more. I mean, she moved in Tacoma when she's like 10, but anyway, and my dad never done anything racist in front of me, you know, like, so I just don't think I got shown any racism at an early age.
Yeah, like you definitely are. It is kind of, I guess, your upbringing, bro.
Right.
And some people be scared of their upbringing, like they just feel they just got to be this way because they family that way, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, then it also kind of makes me feel sad for my friend that I'm mentioning a second ago on his porch. Like, he had no choice. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
He was told this is what you have to do. You know, this is the way or whatever. So
yeah, and it's gotta it sucks a little bit and kind of sad, you know.
And I'm sure it goes that way. I hear a lot of people make a claim that, you know, minorities are more racist. You know, that is a very popular thing in the white community. And now I don't know. All right. I don't know. All I know is that in general, and I make this claim to some white people that like just do not believe me, but in general, most black people I've come in contact with in my life are nice to me. They rather give me a chance or like we vibe or whatever. So like I've had pretty good luck or whatever. People be like, that's crazy.
And then see, I've had white friends since kindergarten. So it's like, I didn't ever see the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had like playtime. I would get dropped over my friend's house. You know, they had cooler toys. You know.
Right. Well, my story of how I learned what the N-word is so I had a friend when I was before school started. We were in like low income housing together. There's a black guy I hung out with named Zach. I'm still friends with him. He moved back later on and all that stuff. but he's really light skinned. He has like blonde hair, green eyes, but he's black. And
Right.
then when I was in first grade, that we had a couple more in my class, and my school didn't have many, but we had like a lot, maybe not a lot, but more than most in our little couple grade areas there. And in the grade above me, we had a black kid, and one kid called the kid in the grade above me the N-word, and everyone freaked out, and then it was a big deal, And I came home and asked my mom, I was like, hey, what is this word? I don't know what this is. And she was like, we don't say that word. And I was like, but what is it? And she was like, some people say black people. And I was like, what is black people? And she was like, your friend Zach's dad, Jerry. And I said, yeah. She goes, Jerry's black. And I went, oh, okay. And now what's crazy is when I'm 4 years old, my mom, we only have Fox. That's the only channel we have. So my mom watches Living Single and then Martin, like every Thursday or whatever. And I loved both those shows. I just loved them. And I loved In Living Color. In Living Color was my favorite show when I was 4 years old because I love Jim Carrey. I mean, I thought he was so funny as Fire Marshal Bill and all that. Really hit a 4-year-old's humor. And then I also did the Homie Don't Play That. And my aunts and uncles would find it so funny. I'd take socks and I'd hit them and I'd go, Homie Don't Play That. And so I've always it was cool to me, right? And so years later being like, oh, these are black people. It's like, oh, okay. But, I never made that connection as a kid, because you don't unless an adult tells you.
Right. It was just people and friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I understand that. I feel that. And then, different people got different experiences, bro. So it was like,
right.
It just kept it going, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like, there's a person I work with that grew up what they claim is the hood in Oklahoma City, and they had a lot of bad run-ins. So when I'll say something of like, oh, I was buying drugs from people I had no business talking to at 20 years old. They could have robbed me at any moment. And they're like, how did you get out of there? I'm like, I was nice and they were nice to me. And we just made it be like, I don't know. And I knew people that got robbed, but I was big enough that I probably wasn't worth the trouble. They're like, wow, we'll be all right. We'll just do a normal business deal or whatever. And
you gotta pass.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think people make it too, I don't know what the word is. They complicate everything,
You probably didn't make it weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I won't lie, there are a few, I do say it throughout my life, and then we'll get off race talk, not to make it too racial. But there's a few black people that sometimes like they feel some type of way that the other black people accept me. You know what I mean? And then they get like, why are you acting like that? You're not black. I'm like, I never claimed to be black. And they're like, yeah, but these people like you. I'm like, I don't understand why this is a problem. But I do get those about like 1 out of every 8, and like you get invited to a house. Say you're the only white guy in the whole house. There's going to be one guy in there is going to be like weary of you.
Right,
and you're like, I mean,
right.
I don't know what to do for that.
It's crazy because ain't nothing you can do about it because that's just the reality of having different personalities.
And when I was in college, one of my favorite things, and these are just the hits, I guess. But I'd pull out a blunt or something, and then some guys would be like, "The white boy laced it," and I'd be like, "I ain't wasting my good drugs on you. Fuck you, can't even hit my blunt now." And then I'd be like, "No, everyone pass him. He doesn't get to hit my blunt." And then you like really single them out and some type of way. So that normally shuts them up.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, you gotta learn these tricks. I learned the tricks.
Definitely. Head on. Face it head on.
Yeah. Well, I think you do gotta go through with humor. Humor is the only way through in a lot of these scenarios. Right. Oh, here's another race-related thing. These white dudes from Tyler, Texas, had a plan to go take over an island in Haiti. And I saw this news story last week, and I'm like, this should be a way bigger news story. They, two just redneck-ass guys, they heard about the shit in Haiti, and they were like, ooh, this is ripe for the taking. And then I don't know much about the country of Haiti, but I saw the map when they talked about this. And it's not just one island. There's also like little small islands. And they just thought they could take over one of the small islands with guns. And they would just go and take it over. And then they would rape the local women. That was like part of their plan. And anyway, they got caught. So I'm sure I'll find those guys and their picture will be up here somewhere as we're talking about.
I want to be a fly on the wall when the plan was being put together.
Yeah. Well, this is a drug thing. To me, I've been. Man. I had a lot of stupid friends, and I could definitely see when I was in high school, like, no, dude, what we could fucking do? We take over Haiti. They're malnourished. All we need is 2 guns, and then they think like they're gonna pull off some shit. I can put myself there, I guess. Let's see.
So we're gonna say they pinky in the brain,
right? Yeah, basically. We're
gonna take over Haiti.
You know what we're gonna do today? Yeah, take over Haiti. They're taking over from the Clintons. If you know about the Clinton Foundation, they were the original takeover Hades. I don't know how true it is, but in the Clinton Foundation, like the Clinton suicide people conspiracy world, a lot of it ties to the Clinton Foundation funneling and embezzling money through the Haiti Relief Fund. Wow. And they probably did. I mean, I don't fucking know. But what I've always stuck with was I was a junior in college. When most people are juniors in college, you have to take this class called University Seminar, at least at the school I went to. It's a 1-hour class. It's fucking nothing. You just sit there for 3 days and you're done with it. But during one of these 3 days, a guy came and talked, and his last name rhymed with my last name. And that's why I remember him so well. And he was talking about he got an internship with the Clinton Foundation and then through Feed the Children and how he worked with them. And he kept saying, I can't tell you all the things I've heard in these. Like, he just kept reiterating how, like, the world is so much crazier in the backdoor deals you'll hear, like, he would never believe. And then, so I just, like, kept that in my mind. And then years later, they're like, oh, yeah, the Clintons suicide everyone. And I'm like, that dude was trying to tell us in that meeting, you know, and you kind of start connecting the dots years later. I mean, hey, if they keep our prices down, food cheap, suicide away, whoever you need to. Oh, yeah. This is probably why the views are going down on YouTube. I forget there's certain words you're not supposed to say because they're trying to keep me down. They're trying to censor me. The man. I think I said rape, suicide, and probably I don't think I said the F gay word, but apparently that one's bad too. All right, let's play our third song here, and then we'll come back and wrap this whole fucking thing up. The next we're going with is from myself, A2thaMo. And the homie Bradster X. We had an old album came out earlier this year called Brain Rot Over Sanity. And it was my second best album last year, according to my Spotify Wrapped numbers, which are so fucking, I hate the Spotify Wrapped. First off, it needs to be after Christmas. Why do they do this Spotify Wrapped fucking early December? Fucking blows my mind. Also, when you're an artist, and I'm my own number one artist, I then can't share anything because then I feel like a fucking loser. That my top 5 is me, Bradster X, SoCo, Sir Nasty, and It's Your Boy H2 are my top 5 artists because they're the people I play on this podcast. And so I could share that, but then it doesn't seem as cool as if I had it as like David and the murderer and shit like that. Anyway, I'm getting off the tangent, but go check out Bros. Oh, check out all the albums. All right. God damn it. Fucking December stuff. Everyone's listening to Christmas music. Not me. Not here. Not yet. Anyway. And anyway, the name what we're going here is Simulation Flow off of Bros, aka Brain Rot Over Sanity. Let's give it a listen.
Strongest argument for us being in a simulation, probably being in a simulation, I think is the following.
Barely surviving in the simulation, kinda like the people that I'm hiding in my dingy basement. Pop a perk and I pass out. Give me max win or I'll crash out. Sick of shitty bass hits. Losing grip on reality. Scare myself with what I could do with this kind of mentality. I could react violently, then retract silently. If you got a thing to say, then battle me, but you're bitch made. I can rip a track, then bring it back to Mo. Like a swing attack, knowing that my wicked axe will show. Frigid with the flow, like in the winter when it snows. Underneath we're lizards and we're taking all control. Shapeshifters on patrol, every soul is a goal. The aliens are on the way, but maybe it's a hologram. From the way we're living, started feeling like the fallen man. I'm struggling, but feeling like I've been giving it all I can. But time moves quick, like falling sand.
If you assume any rate of improvement at all,
the world's fake and nothing is real. You could freak out about it, take a pill and just chill. Like, what's the big deal? I'm trying to respond in this bitch. The Matrix trying to solve a little glitch. You can be anything you want, why y'all choose a little bitch? We're strapped in, we pretend it's as real as it gets. Still haven't quite figured out what this shit even is. Big blunts, big bowls, you know we chiefin' it. Virus in our mind is seeping in. Running out of time, we smoke some green again. Y'all geeking out, I'm geeking in. Ain't nobody woke yet, y'all bitches sleeping in. Feel like we live in The Sims. Who controlling me? I'm trying to woo-hoo my bitch. I really do this, they boo-hoo because we go stupid as shit. If this was Hoop, then Brad just threw the assist. Flat earthers falling off their ships. How could we hop on new servers and this whole thing rigged? And dude, we knew it was bad when these dudes who was grooming them kids finally made a list and stayed hidden because all those pedophiles were rich on these island diddling kids. It was like shit.
And there would probably be, billions of such computers or set-top boxes. The odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
All right, hey, the Bradster X. Simulation Flow. One of my all-time favorite beats I've ever made. I really like the melody. It's very cool.
Cool.
Also, love the simulation flow theory. Or simulation theory. Flow doesn't need to be in there, I guess. It started off as a joke of like, this is pretty fun, and now I'm like a full believer in the simulation theory. So, man, can't quick off, and it's almost like I'm just so choked up. It's a Christmas spirit, holidays. Do you have any big plans? You got any big Christmas plans?
Not really, bro. We normally as just like a little small family, we just do like a Christmas brunch and be kind of done with it. Not really. You might just get gifts in December,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily actually be on Christmas Day, but you know what I'm saying? You just get different stuff throughout December. But kids, our kids didn't really get locked into Santa Claus like for long term, because kind of basically like you need to know that it wasn't Santa that did this,
Right.
Like,
well, the first time your kid says some shit like, actually, Santa got that for me, you'd be like, well, actually, you shut the fuck up, and you're going to learn today. I understand how that happens.
And then then in the following year, Santa only gave them socks and drawers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, Santa got that? What? Okay. But guess what? Dad get you. Hi. Fuck Santa Claus.
Yeah. Which makes sense. It never made sense that the elves made me a PlayStation or whatever, like, of course they should get you socks or whatever.
Yeah. But I like the idea, you know what I'm saying? At a certain age, I do. I kind of like, give them a little something, that they believe in, where they had imagination. Like, you don't want to ruin them too early, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Also, I feel like I got to give an update on Soko and what happened with Soko last week and the week before. We were like, Soko's avoiding us and all that. It's just Twitter. It's just X, as they call it these days. It wants to not, if he sends me a message, it just doesn't appear. So our link's broken at the moment. This happened to me and CJ Jones back in the day. And then that's how the whole group chat we have started, was because we couldn't message. So I was like, let's start a group chat and see if that works. And then it did. And then, but honestly, Soko should have responded to the group chat this whole time, because we've been saying the group chat like, fuck, Soko's goddamn disappeared. Where the fuck is he? Not respond to that at all. But he claims with screenshots that he did respond to like just me directly. And then so I was like, well, so anyway, we're going to get him on here to talk some TV shows eventually, because I have a whole fucking list building up. And, he already talks forever when he calls in. So it's like, we can't have too many TV shows. Do you watch any TV shows? We'll end on that one.
Yeah, I like the crime stuff, like Blacklist, all the Chicago PD, Med, I like all,
like the network crime shows, basically.
Right.
I know Powell loved the NCIS show. I never watched it, but he loved it.
All those, bro. Like from Miami, yeah. I like. Well, not the CSI.
CSI, right?
Yeah, those and the NCIS. Like I sit there, I watch that now.
Yeah. So I mean, it comes from that time where they made like 30 episodes a season, so it has like, there's so many episodes of I get how you get into it. I just don't have time. Or I could if I put on like a random screen, but I rarely
Right.
do. I'm just like, let's watch more podcasts. You know, YouTube is a time sink for me. I'll get on YouTube and I'll like watch something not even interesting. And I'm like, I could have watched like a real TV show. What the fuck am I doing? You know, it's like I'm kind of fighting with myself at times because I pay for all these streaming services. And then I feel like, well, I should be watching them. And I think something that's really changed, and maybe you'll agree, maybe your habits are different. I used to just rewatch shows or replay video games. You know what I mean? Like I would just like, I'm going to replay one of my favorite games, or I'll rewatch one of my favorite shows. But now I feel like I have to play a new game or I have to watch a new show. I don't know what's happened to me in the last few years, but something's changed.
It just depends on I don't watch. I'm on the blacklist for my second time.
Right.
I watched Queen of the South twice. I like all the seasons. I watched all that twice. I don't mind watching like even movies. Like I watch old movies.
Yeah,
no problem.
I used to be fine with it. Maybe it was when I started this podcast, and I feel like I need something new to talk about.
Right.
And so I'm always like, what's the new show? Or what's, you know, like I keep buying all these DVDs and Blu-rays. Don't ever even watch them. I'm just like, someday I'll need them when the internet goes out, and I'll have them. And then I just work on this collection.
Now, honestly, I did the same thing. And like you say, we have like like I guess different circumstances where shit be out.
Right.
We'll just sit and just watch old DVDs and watch old movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just for the fuck of it.
And video games, same way. I used to just like replay my favorite video because I was really big into emulators, like when I was in college, and you know, you download like all these old games and shit. And then I'm still getting the retro games, and I can play old retro games like a Super Nintendo game or something. But like, I very rarely am like, I'm gonna replay this PlayStation 4 era game or PS5 even. You know what I mean? Like once I beat it, I'm like, well, I beat the game. I don't need to play it again. But back in the day, I would have just replayed it and kept replaying the game. It wouldn't have been a problem at all. So yeah, I mean, it's just getting older and running out of time. One of the two. All right. Well, when do you stream typically? So we can let people know if they want to check you out.
What's crazy right now is, well, I've always been a random streamer. Like I could never lock in a schedule.
Yeah, that'd be hard for sure.
Yeah. So like, and I'm pretty much like a jack of all trades. So I'm always doing something. But my content has been doing pretty good. So I pretty much whenever I get a chance, man. Sometimes I get on in the morning, start with a little meditation, 10-minute meditation, and then just catch up with people how their weekend went. And probably be like a little hour stream, and then later on that night I might stream some Rocket League or play PGA golf or some shit. But it's very random, bro. It's just I don't know how I feel, and I tend to just do what I feel instead of I ain't trying to follow what everybody else is doing. So that kind of kept me keep me from being authentic. Keep me being authentic. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, I see all the time people are like, this is how you blow up on Twitch. Stream these 3 games now. And I'm like, that would suck to have to always be kind of chasing the thing.
I need something from you though. I do. And I think you probably the guy I need to ask. I need like some intro shit for my stream that's dealing with games somehow. And I like your samples, and I think you would probably have some. I think you would do something pretty nice.
Yeah, we could. I think to be something to make it more fun. If you have certain retro games you like their sounds or whatever, I could try to sample those particular ones, or they have sound fonts for different video like old games that you can assign this shit to your keyboard, or whatever. So that could be cool, but yeah, we can definitely do that.
Especially like the double dribble, how that come on. Like the bit with the bell ring for the Mike Tyson punch out. Like anybody hear that right now, but they know what game it is.
Right. Yeah. In my intro to this song, there's one part that I think is a golf swing from an old Tiger Woods game. It goes whing, and I'm like, I think that's what that's from, but I don't know exactly. It was just in a sample pack.
And man, I used to play Tiger Woods with the Tiger Vision. With the heartbeat.
It used to be good until when they done Rory's, they just fucked it, and then it's never been back. And then they tried to bring Tiger into 2K, and I was like, fine, I'll try this. And I don't like the 2K golf system, or I didn't that year when I tried it. Maybe they made it better since then. And also it just makes 2K ruined NBA 2K, and they're ruining WWE 2K with the island. I mean, they're basically in the NBA, they have the city, and they ruined the goddamn game with the city. And I'll stand on everything for that. But honestly, understand that I'm not a multiplayer guy. Maybe multiplayer people love it, but I personally hate the city. And it's like, I don't want to be a fucking fashion model or a goddamn rapper. I want to play basketball because it's an NBA game. And then when you're doing the rapper, you made me choose corny ass fucking lines. And then Anyway, that's all we're talking about. But
it's crazy. I can agree with some of that because I'm not finna sit here and buy no VCs just to
right.
I'd rather go through and earn them slowly.
Well, so that's things I used to do. Just like I would get the game, and then I would just work on it, and then eventually my guy would become a 99 or whatever, right? But now it's like you don't even get that many points in a regular seat like that. You have to go online if you want to really get money. Or to earn the VC. And then you have people like, no, nothing against him. This is most of the players. Rico Reds, who called this podcast years ago and said he spends like a minimum of $500 on the game because he goes, well, it's $200 to max out each person in VC. So he just like creates a guy, buys the VC, maxes them out to what he can so he can have multiple positions to choose from. And to him, that's the way you play it. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. You bought the game. Now play the game. That's how I view it. But that's how I'm like, I'm just not their customer base. They don't care about me. I only spend $70 on the game. Other people spend a fucking grand, so why would they care what I think?
So I mean, because I like the experiences of getting better, throughout the process instead of just 99. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Yeah, and then sometimes, I've seen some people do that, and they still trash. So, like, I don't know.
Well, to me, I think the high, and I guess we can try it here. The high I'm always chasing on video games specifically is some sort of feeling I have as a kid and I don't even know the game. I couldn't even explain it to you, but you're like playing like an RPG type game or something, but you're making a choice between the sword that does more damage or the sword that has a poison effect, and you're getting to choose, and they're both really the same at the end of the day, but you're like, no, I play with poison, and you think you found some secret, right? Or like you found the hidden armor. You're like, something where a game makes you think you figured out something, which obviously they fucking plan for, but like that feeling is really hard these days. And a lot of it's because I guess guides, like it's too easy to look up a guide. And so it's just I can see that. Cause some of that, a lot of the strategy games change because the strategy ain't really there all the time no more. Right. It's a perfect example today. I'd be like, some game you'll play it. Again, thinking more kind of RPG or action game here. And back in the day, it's like you would have to try different attacks before you found out that like the fire attack was its weakness. But now you'll walk up to a person and they're glowing blue. And if they're glowing blue, that means they're weak to fire. You know what I mean? Like they have to telegraph everything, as opposed to being like, figure it out, learn or something.
I think some people today would struggle playing Zelda. They would struggle playing Tomb Raider. They would struggle playing a lot of those games where you just had to sit and try different ways to get past stuff. Yeah,
I watched a little small review over Ocarina of Time the other day, and I haven't played it since I had a 64. And I am like, I would probably go back and play that. I wonder if it holds. I'm sure it is still great. I mean, that game was a big deal to me when I was young. It's like one of 2 or 3 64 games I like. But yeah, I haven't been on the Nintendo train for a long time. And they say the new Zeldas are great, and I kind of want to play those too. But maybe someday we'll see.
That's what's up.
But all right, man, I appreciate you calling in, make the time, all that. Again, follow him at Locogunner on all the stuff. Of course, I'll tag you on Twitter, wherever else we're sharing this at. And I'll remind me, stay on me a little bit about making you something, but we'll definitely. Do you need just a song, or are you also trying to get like a little video like that plays at the front of this thing? I'm not like great at that, but I could make you one. So
I'm open for suggestions. I'm
Okay.
definitely open for suggestions.
hell yeah. Yeah, we'll work on some stuff. And then if you ever just need like random music to play, I have beats, or you're always, I don't know how it works on like giving people permission to play your music on stream, because I've heard people have issues on Twitch playing certain songs. And I wish I could tell people like it's totally allowed, but I don't know where I need to go to click that. You know what I mean?
It really be all on your settings. So like I play pretty much whatever I want on my stream.
Gotcha.
But it's not saved on the actual Twitch VOD. So when you hear my VOD, you hear no music. So I don't get tagged, and I don't get warnings and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's just a setting that you can do in OBS where it's not saved on a certain track. So I think like track 2 is for Twitch, like in OBS. So if you don't have your music, like you have all your audio playing and it's not on track 2, it's not going to be on your VOD that saves on Twitch. Gotcha. So you don't really get those tags and stuff and warnings and stuff.
Good to know. Someday I have to figure out Twitch again. I was going to be like, I'm just going to make a second computer. Maybe it'll be better. But now like computer part prices are outrageous. They're just, in the last month, it's going crazy. And I'm like, well, I'm glad I fucking got this shit last year before it got crazy. But, all right, man, we're going to end here on a beat. I named it DD3. I wish I could remember exactly what this beat was like, but I don't remember. I just wrote down the beat I'm going to play.
Bro, man, it gave me like, I've tried Zumba. It gave me Zumba vibes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I can see,
this one might be, you mentioned this one might be the one where I'm sampling. There's like a lady just singing on the street. And so it's like maybe if it has a lady's voice in here, but I can't remember if it does or not. But if it's that one, then that's probably what I sampled.
I can see somebody just getting down to it. If
Good. I'm still debating if I want to do an instrumental album. Last times I've done them, they don't do very well. But I have a handful of beats that I think are really good, but I don't think people could make songs, or they could, but they wouldn't be like rap songs,
Yeah. Man, you would be surprised what people use, bro. They can use them for they vlogs, anything, bro.
Right.
You'll be surprised.
I might put one of those out. I might work on that on my break as well here at the end of the year. But anyway, appreciate you being on, man, and peace.
No problem, bro.